Today's video is about the FAA's warning. That's the Federal Aviation Administration warning airlines of military disruptions to flights over Central and South America. The FAA has warned airlines that military operations over parts of Central and South America could pose a risk to civilian flights. The FAA issued notice to airmen, which is called a NOTAM, notice to airmen covering Mexico, Central America, Ecuador, Colombia, and portions of the airspace over Eastern Pacific. The warnings began on Friday and will last for 60 days, about 2 months. The reason being for it is last month a JetBlue passenger jet was forced to take evasive action to avoid a collision with a U.S. military tanker plane close to Venezuela. The tanker did not have its transponders activated, and for good reason. After the intervention in Venezuela, the FAA issued restrictions on flights throughout the Caribbean, and hundreds of flights were canceled. Tensions have remained high since the U.S. operation to depose Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro at the beginning of January. President Trump has threatened further action against Colombia, Cuba, and Mexico. Speaking to reporters on board Air Force One, President Trump was asked directly if the U.S. will take military actions against Colombia, and his reply was, "It sounds good to me." He said Colombia is very sick too, run by a sick man, President Gustavo Petro, who likes making cocaine and selling it to the U.S. And he's not going to be doing it for very long, let me tell you, was his response. Trump then warned the U.S. might have to do something with Mexico, explaining that the Mexican government is not doing enough to fight the drug cartels. And then he said that he had offered U.S. military assistance to Mexico, to their president, Ms. Claudia, on multiple occasions, but she was just not willing or a little afraid of the cartels. Trump was then asked about Cuba and whether military action would be necessary there, and he said he believed the regime would fall on its own and it didn't need any assistance from us. They got all of their income from Venezuela, and now that there is no Venezuelan oil for them to get income from, it's just going to all fall apart for them. And I don't think we need any action, was his last statement. I have heard it said that we've had more Americans die of fentanyl than the Iraq, Afghanistan, and Vietnam wars combined, as was quoted by Nikki Haley. Many families have been affected. You probably know of some yourself. And finally, to my prayer warrior friends and family, I ask prayers of protection and victory for our military and our country in this war on the cartel, and to finally end the nightmare that the governments and drug cartels have created.